It is Sunday, August 30, 2020. Welcome to LCJ Live. We are live. I am Lights Camera Jackson. Can you believe it? Only 2 days left, now a day and a half basically, of August. Wow. The second third of 2020 is coming to an end. Welcome to LCJ Live. Box office results are out. New Mutants is your #1 movie in America with $7 million. But obviously the big story this weekend is the passing of Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman. And I'm going to go through the career of Chadwick Boseman, the on-screen career a little bit right now. I have stories that go along with a number of films. Unfortunately, I was not able to meet Chadwick Boseman while he was with us. I wish I did, because I admire a lot of the films and the performances that he gave in those films over the years. Great screen presence. That's what I want to start off with. A confident screen presence. That's what I liked about him right out of the get-go. The first film he did was The Express. He played Floyd Little. It was a small role in a film that people should have seen, really. I mean, Rob Brown as Ernie Davis was fantastic. Dennis Quaid as the coach should have been nominated for supporting actor that year for the Oscars. Nobody saw The Express. It's too bad, and that's where we first saw Chadwick Boseman. Then he did some TV roles. He did some other things over the years, and then came 42, Jackie Robinson. And this movie came out in April of 2013. And I remember watching it and going, why did this movie not get saved until World Series time in October? Because this film deserves award season consideration. It's that good. Harrison Ford, fantastic. Also should have been up for Best Supporting Actor that year. But man, Chadwick Boseman, his presence, his dignity, his poise on screen, his confidence in the role of Jackie Robinson right out of the gate blew me away. I knew he was going to be a big deal watching him in 42. And I wrote this on social media yesterday. If you missed it, let me tell you a brief story. At the end of 2013, Warner Brothers Pictures sent me an email, their representatives, and they said, all right, you know, we put out a bunch of movies this year. Score these films on a scale of 1 to 10 for us, and let us know if any of these films got into your 10 best movies of 2013 list. So I look at the films, and they have Prisoners, they have Gravity, they have Her, they have The Great Gatsby, they have, I think The Hobbit movie was on that list, and one or two others. They released a lot of films that year. And I scored them. I liked some of them. Gravity I liked, but it was on my honorable mentions list. But a film that was not on that list was 42. And so I came back to them. I said, you know, I liked some of these movies more than others. None of them made the 10 best list. But one of your movies from this year did, and that's 42. And they go, oh, wow, great. Thank you so much. They were pleasantly surprised. And I remember, I feel like it was last minute that they sort of sent out the DVD of 42 or a screener or something. I may be wrong on that, but I feel like it was sort of a, oh, wait a second, maybe this actually should be something the voters need to see. Here you go. I wish it got more attention than it did. 42 was on my 10 best list of 2013 because of the fantastic performances, the story, the emotion behind it, of this story of Jackie Robinson and Branch Rickey was great. I really, really liked 42, and I knew Chadwick Boseman was going places. Now, the next film he was in, another sports movie, Draft Day. This starred Kevin Costner, Jennifer Garner, Ellen Burstyn, Sam Elliott, a bunch of people. And Fox is actually going to re-air this movie on Monday, September 7th, so a week from tomorrow at 8 o'clock. They're going to re-air Draft Day as part of a package deal they had for weeks with Lionsgate, and they're going to air Draft Day. Chadwick Boseman played a football player. And, yeah, so back-to-back sports movies, but even in the supporting role as Vontae Mack, Chadwick Boseman, again, delivered the confidence and the skill level, and he felt like a football player. He really convinced us that he was a football player in this role. So I like Chadwick Boseman in that film as well. And then we have Get On Up. Now, Get On Up is the James Brown movie, and I remember watching the trailers for months and months and months, going, boy, if this is good, it's Tate Taylor, director of The Help. If this is good, this is going to get him a Best Actor Oscar nomination. And Chadwick Boseman was fantastic as James Brown. Get On Up, unfortunately, got overshadowed because it came out the same day as Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a bad call because the movie only made $30 million total, which is crazy if you think about it today. This was back in August of 2014. It should have made a lot more money. It was a long film. It was like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I think some people may have stayed away from it because of its length. The reviews were good. The one problem people had was that Chadwick Boseman did all the dancing. He did the inflections in the voice. He had the look, he had the poise, he had the presence. But in the movie, he didn't sing the songs, or many of the songs, or James Brown's actual voice was front and center compared to Chadwick Boseman's singing voice. And so people had an issue with that. And I remember Chadwick Boseman went on David Letterman, and he sung a little bit of a James Brown song so that people knew, hey, I can sing. Unfortunately, that didn't get him an Oscar nomination. It should have, at the very least, gotten him a Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical Golden Globe nomination. That's one of the things, even before Chadwick's passing this weekend, one of the ones that's always been in my mind is like the big mistakes, the big errors nomination-wise from the major awards groups over the last 10 years. One of them is not at least getting him actor in a comedy or musical Golden Globe nomination, because he put in all the effort and everything he needed to do to be James Brown, and he was fantastic. So I wish that happened for him, because he deserved that. It was a very competitive year for lead actors. If you remember, it was the Michael Keaton, Eddie Redmayne, David Oyelowo, Steve Carell, Bradley Cooper, American Sniper year, Jake Gyllenhaal, Nightcrawler, the list goes on and on. There were so many, Ray Fiennes, Grand Budapest Hotel, Bill Murray, St. Vincent. There were so many lead actor performances this year, that year, and you knew some people were going to get snubbed, but he shouldn't have been one of them, at least at the Golden Globes, for that performance. So that was Get On Up, which was released in the summer of 2014. In 2016, Chadwick Boseman went on to do Captain America Civil War, his first legitimate appearance as T'Challa, Black Panther. And I remember watching Civil War and going, I can get into this guy's story. I can get into this character. There's something interesting here. And then obviously he would go on to do Black Panther, but before Black Panther, played Thurgood Marshall in the drama Marshall. Now, I didn't love Marshall, and it was no fault to Chadwick Boseman that I didn't love Marshall. I actually think he's not in the movie enough. He's good, but it should have really been his story. I remember watching Marshall at a screening and going, there's too much of Josh Gad, there's too much of the other players in this, there's some goofy elements thrown in, this should be a serious, Thurgood Marshall biopic. This guy deserves that kind of treatment, and Chadwick Boseman puts in the effort to make that happen. So I respect what he did as Thurgood Marshall. I remember the stories, though, coming out at the time as being like, another historical figure you're playing, Chadwick? But in the end, that was one of his purposes in life, is to embody these historical figures, these important figures in our lives. And that's what he did so well. And then, of course, a few months later, Black Panther comes along. I remember going to Black Panther on the Thursday night opening night. It was very crowded at a multiplex that's never usually crowded, and people were really into this. I did not think at that time that it would a year later win the SAG for Best Ensemble, but I was talking with a good friend, colleague Rick Marshall about this recently on the Cinema Stories podcast. We were both kind of saying, you know what, we're not too surprised in the end at Black Panther because of the impact that it had. I mean, this movie made $700 million domestically, more than $1 billion worldwide. It was a phenomenon. Stayed in the top 10 for so many weeks. An absolute phenomenon. And a good film. I don't think Black Panther is the best movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's definitely in the upper half. It's definitely a good film and accomplishes what it set out to do. And actually, ABC now is going to air it commercial-free tonight at 8 p.m., followed by a Chadwick Boseman tribute special at 10:20, which is a very smart decision. Then, after Black Panther came the two Avengers movies. He appears right away in Infinity War, and then a year later in Endgame. And the excitement that people had when he came out in Endgame, to see Black Panther. Now, 21 Bridges was a movie that was supposed to be out last summer. STX was having financial problems, and they were trying to get the movie out there, but they didn't have enough money to do the marketing and put it in the theaters and do all that they needed to do. 21 Bridges, an action movie from Joe and Anthony Russo, the Avengers films, giving Chadwick Boseman basically his own standalone action film, kind of like what they've done with Chris Hemsworth with Extraction on Netflix. They're behind that as well. So this movie was supposed to come out in July of last year, and it was originally called 17 Bridges. And Chadwick Boseman went on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and he talked about how midway through production of 17 Bridges, he gets a note from the producers saying, we got to change the movie to 21 Bridges because we got to be authentic to how many bridges there are, and we got to change it to 21. So he's like, okay, we're going to change it to now to be 21 Bridges and my dialogue and what I'm going to say. I remember he went on Kimmel, and that was pretty interesting to hear what he had to say, and Kimmel was surprised. So the movie was supposed to be out in July, got pushed again. I believe it got pushed twice. Yeah, it was supposed to be end of September, then it went to November. And it opened November. Now, it opened right around Thanksgiving, and usually around Thanksgiving, it's award season, and I got to see a bunch of the big dramas and some animated films and awards contenders and films before the Critics' Choice voting deadlines and all that. So it's tough for me to go see a movie that, this crime drama action movie isn't going to be an awards player. You just knew the vibe of it. So I was like, I'm going to get to this movie. I want to see this movie, but I got to see these awards contenders first. So there were a couple occasions where I was like, yeah, I'm going to go see it. No, I got to watch these other ones. And that kept going and going. I went to the Critics' Choice Awards in January. And on the way back from Critics' Choice, I stopped in Chicago for a day. And I needed to do some things and had a little free time. And near my hotel was an AMC movie theater. And so I wanted to go by the movie theater to see what was playing, just to see what it looks like. I like seeing the interiors of movie theaters and checking out where they are, even if I didn't need to see a movie that day. And believe it or not, I walk in, and about 30 minutes from that time was going to be a showing of 21 Bridges. Now keep in mind, this movie had been out for 2 months already, close to 2 months, and it was decreasing every weekend at the box office. It was barely making any money at this point. But you know what? It was meant to be that I was meant to see 21 Bridges at that time. Pretty amazing at that time. So I saw 21 Bridges, sat in these nice red recliner seats. Different from any AMC theater I'd been to already. It was a really lounge aspect. It was one of those kind of theaters. And I watched 21 Bridges. Is 21 Bridges a fantastic film? No. Is it good? Yeah, it's pretty good. And Chadwick Boseman is great. Again, that confidence and being on screen with J.K. Simmons, who is an equal powerhouse in terms of impact with his roles. The two are great together, and Sienna Miller's in it, and it has some twists and turns. It's all right. It was nice to watch on a Tuesday afternoon, to check out 21 Bridges. And you know what? I'm glad I saw it at that time, was meant to see it at that time, and I'm glad that Chadwick was able to make that film. Now, the most recent film that Chadwick Boseman appeared in was *Five Bloods*, which is on Netflix right now. It is the Spike Lee movie. It is a supporting role. I don't know if it's the kind of role that would get him now some posthumous awards nominations, especially because they're going to push Delroy Lindo for sure for supporting actor or lead actor, whatever they decide this award season. But it is an emotional role and performance because he plays the fallen soldier, comrade, friend to this group who comes back to Vietnam and looks for his ashes. So there are the flashback scenes with him that are emotional, and I think people now are going to check out *To Five Bloods* if they haven't already, simply because of Chadwick being in it. So that was the last film with Chadwick Boseman that I've seen before his passing. Now, there are a couple films in the can and a couple projects in the can, including a film for Netflix that he did with Viola Davis, who was in Get On Up, that will be coming out at some point. Unclear if it's by the end of this award season, at the end of February, or not. And then he was working on some other things, a voice thing for being Black Panther for a Marvel series that could be on Disney Plus soon, and some other things like that. But there you go, the real 10 films I see here with the impact of Chadwick Boseman, who has left us way too soon, way too young. Colon cancer. It's just so sad. But he lived quite a life and quite an impact, especially 42 was 2013 to Five Bloods 2020, so you're talking 7 years. He became one of the biggest movie stars in Hollywood in 7 years. Really hit it after 5 years with being in Black Panther. That's hard to do. It's hard to do and have that kind of impact, but he did it. And the folks at Disney ABC see that by airing Black Panther again tonight in the special, and all that he has done for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and so many wonderful tributes that have come in from the folks of the Avengers gang and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, reading those over the last several days. We will miss you, Chadwick Boseman. Thank you for all that you did. Now the most liked tweet of all time about his passing. Pretty incredible impact. Chadwick Boseman, you are missed. Wakanda forever. There you are. All right, shifting gears here on LCJ Live. I will be seeing, as of now, Tenet tomorrow. Now, I am in the state of New York. I will be traveling a little bit of a distance to see Tenet tomorrow, as of now. But I definitely want to check out Christopher Nolan's new movie safely. But on the big screen, and the preview showings start tomorrow in select theaters around the country, some drive-ins as well. Not here in New York, unfortunately, but some places around the country are doing the previews tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday before Tenet opens nationwide, wherever theaters are open on Thursday. I say as of now because one of my things in life is nothing happens until it actually happens, but I'm pretty confident as of now, tomorrow we'll be seeing Tenet, and I'll have my take on it on Tuesday. Christopher Nolan, I have a love-hate relationship with Christopher Nolan's films. Inception, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk I like. Some of his ones are smart and effective, and some of them go a little too far, a little too crazy. Where will Tenet fall? That is the big question, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens after all of this, the build-up, the anticipation, the emotions behind this being the film to get us back into theaters. How is Tenet? How is this 2.5-hour long Christopher Nolan sci-fi time travel action drama epic, maybe some humor in it too, with an all-star cast and surprise appearance? Who knows what's going to happen? Tenet, I'm looking forward to it. We will see how it is, and I will let you know how it is. New Mutants is your number one movie with $7 million. Unhinged, another $2.6 million. Bill and Ted, $1.1 million from the 1,000 theaters it's in. David Copperfield, Personal History of David Copperfield, which I have not checked out yet. Hope to at some point. $520,000 in SpongeBob in Canada. Another $400,000. What'd you think of Inception? I kid. Stay safe, LCJ, says Shane Mendez. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate that. It's been 10 years since Inception. Wow. All of that early show stuff and Howard Stern. Oh, that was good times, man. Good times. What's up, Skelly Ethan? Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. So we're getting ready for Tenet. Going to be Labor Day weekend. It's going to be September on Tuesday. That is crazy. Before I go here on LCJ Live, I want to let you know I watched a movie last night called Misbehavior that I think is fantastic. One of the absolute best films of the year. Best screenplay and ensemble of the year, hands down. It is a film about the women's liberation movement of 1970 and the Miss World pageant of 1970. The cast in this, Keira Knightley, Jessie Buckley, who is probably my favorite actress working today, because she's great in this, and I'm thinking of Ending Things, which is on Netflix this Friday. Who else is in this movie? Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Reese Ifans, Leslie Manville, and Greg Kinnear plays Bob Hope, and Leslie Manville plays Bob Hope's wife. It is quite a film. It does a lot, says a lot. The dialogue is insanely good. Like, there's great dialogue, and then there's every line has something meaningful to say, or a comeback, or just shocks you. And that is this movie. Misbehavior, VOD, September 25. I have also seen Mulan. I don't want to give too much away of my thoughts on Mulan. I know the social media embargo is out, but the review embargo is not out till Thursday. I will say this. Mulan, this new Mulan, is not as violent as you might think it is going in. It is PG-13, but it is not the intense, dramatic, bloody Mulan, in terms of the violence and gore and things like that I was expecting it to be. So that is all I'm going to say for now on Mulan, but I will have my review of that on Thursday. Shellfish Beach. Hi, Jackson. Hope I can see Tenet at a drive-in soon. Excited for your review. Thank you so much, Shellfish Beach. So looking forward to seeing Tenet tomorrow. Hope you get to check it out at a drive-in soon. And we'll see how much money it makes. This will be really interesting because Warner Brothers will want to release the money from every day, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, the weekend box office, of course, is only going to take care of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They'll do a 4-day for Labor Day, but the weekend box office itself, Friday through Sunday. But since it technically starts tomorrow, it'll be a Monday through Monday. What will the opening 8 days of Tenet be, with approximately 62% of theaters around the country currently open? There will be some more in California opening on Monday, maybe in time for some Tenet showings later in the week. We'll see now if the state of New York decides to open some theaters upstate and wait for downstate. I think The governor of California doing that will inspire Governor Cuomo here in New York to hopefully do that soon. But theaters are going to need a little time to get things ready. They can't just open right away. They need a little time to clean things, move things around, organize things, and all of that. So we will see, but fingers are crossed on all that. But as always, please stay safe. If you're going to a movie, I went to the drive-ins to see New Mutants the other night. It was a lot of fun. Hadn't actually seen a movie at a drive-in in quite a while. I do voice work for the drive-ins, and I've done events at drive-ins and things, but a lot of times I get to see the movies early or on Thursday nights when the drive-ins don't have them. So this was the first time I had seen a movie at a drive-in in a while, and it was a fun experience, even though The New Mutants is terrible. Bill and Ted is good. If you want my reviews of a bunch of movies that are out right now, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. Follow me on Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. Mickey Laz wants Cuomo to open the theaters. Yes, safely, hopefully, especially here in upstate New York and New York City as well, when everything is good. What's considered the box office in the age of COVID? Yeah, it's going to be tough to get it to a top 10, full top 10 list. It's going to be quite a while, but right now we got a top 5 this weekend. We really do. New Mutants #1, Unhinged #2, Bill and Ted 3, David Copperfield 4, and SpongeBob 5. That's a solid top 5 to me. So we're getting there. We are, and we'll see how Tenet does. I think if Warner Brothers sees any dollar amounts come in, they will be happy at this point. But as always, stay safe, stay positive, stay healthy. We'll be back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I'll talk Tenet box office, Mulan, I'm thinking of ending things, and some of the other movies coming up very, very soon. We are almost through August, coming at you for the final third of 2020. A lot of stuff has happened this year, good stuff and unfortunate stuff, really. Hopefully we get through 2020 quickly, move on to a better 2021. Stay positive, stay well if you're going to theaters, and I will see you next Sunday for more LCJ Live. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Check out Black Panther tonight and the Chadwick Boseman tribute special starting at 8 o'clock on ABC. Commercial-free for Black Panther. That is rare. Rare for any movie on network television to be commercial-free. That says a lot. It really does. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. My first episode as a 22-year-old. It feels good. I don't feel old yet, but it feels good. Shout out to my cousin as well. Happy birthday to you, and see you next Sunday. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.